So we're going to talk about complex numbers. This is just a review because you guys should have done this last year or maybe your sophomore year. That was last year, right? Okay, good. Doing good. Doing great today. Okay, so this should be a review from last year. We're just going to talk about how to add, subtract, multiply complex numbers just to make sure, because once we get into solving polynomials, some things will be complex. So to add complex numbers, to add two complex numbers, add the real part to the real part and the imaginary part to the imaginary part. Oh my gosh, add like terms. Same thing as adding real numbers, you just add like terms. To subtract complex numbers, the same thing. You subtract the real part from the real part and the imaginary part from the imaginary part. And to multiply, you just multiply everything together and then combine like terms. I mean, it's nothing different until we get to the I. And then we need to remember that I equals the square root of -1. If I equals the square root of -1, then I squared equals -1. Sorry about that. My son's car broke down. Okay, so we're going to go with that concept right now and work with the I squared equals -1, and we're going to simplify some i's with larger exponents. And this is kind of how I do it. I know this is what I use, is I know that I squared equals -1. So I try and put things in terms of I squared. So I can write I cubed as I times I squared. This one's pretty easy. So that means this is I times -1, which equals -I. Done. Right? Everyone okay with that? Yes, dear.
Those problems are...
Oh, yes, this part's not in your packet. So sorry, these first 6 problems are not in there. They added this also. So just write it on the bottom or the side or somewhere. Sorry. Thank you, Laura. When they changed everything after I'd already printed it, I was like, oh, you guys. Okay. So number 2, I'm going to do the same thing. The same concept for me is I'm still going to try and make I squareds, which I can do. I can write this out 6 times, right? I can say I squared times I squared, which I really hate writing it this way, but I'm going to do it for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? That's 12 i's. I prefer just to write it this way. I squared to the 6th power, because 2 times 6 is 12, right? And then I can write this as I squared is -1 to the 6th power, which is much easier to put into the calculator if you do -1 to the 6th power, right? So what is -1 to the 6th power? It's either going to be -1 or +1. Which one is it going to be? It should, is it?
Is this the problem?
He's a junior. Okay. Okay. Okay, -1 to the 6th power. This is, yeah, so this is how I tell. It's pretty easy, right? If it's an even exponent, my sign's going to be positive. So if it's an odd exponent, the sign will be negative. So that means this is going to be +1. Okay? So does that help? I hope so. And then the last one, now we're getting kind of big, right? So I'm going to rewrite this first as I, because it's an odd number. I times I to the 136th. Whew. Okay, and what's half of 136? I don't know. 136 divided by 2, 68. Great. So this is going to be I times I squared to the 68th power. Lovely. So then that's I times -1 to the 68th power. And it's even, right? So that means it's 1. So I times 1 equals I. Is there any questions? You guys okay? You guys in here okay? You guys are like, yeah, we're fine, Miss Campbell. Okay, so let's do, have you guys do these, can you guys see those in here? I need to try and make them so you guys can see them too. The exponents are kind of small. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go do this, because some of you guys are right and some of you guys are kind of iffy. So let's see if we can do this. So this is going to be I squared to the 120th. So it's negative 1 to the 120th, which is even, so that's 1. Okay, so B is even number again, so that's I squared to the 131st. So negative 1 to the 131st, so negative 1. And then the last one's an odd one, so I'm going to pull an I out front. And then I have I to the 314th, which is I times I squared to the, I have it here, 157th. So that's I times negative 1, wow, to the 157th. And since that's odd, that's I times negative 1 or negative I. Is there any questions? Wow. Okay, questions? Not too bad? Okay. Everyone okay with the answers? Especially those of you who didn't get quite the right answer. Is that okay with what we got? You're only going to have an I left if it's an odd number, because then you're going to have an extra I. That makes sense. Okay, let's go. What the heck did I do? The second page, which is even easier, we're adding, subtracting, and multiplying. Okay, and the standard form for this, just so you know, is not like regular variables where the variable comes first. The I is not actually a variable, it's an imaginary number, so it comes last in my answer. Okay, so 3 plus 4 is 7, and then 5i minus 3i is 2i. Okay, I know. And then the little harder, the adding, subtracting is not so bad. The little harder one is actually the multiplication, because we're getting some i's and some I squareds. So I'm going to distribute this. So 5 times 7 is 35. And then 5 times 5i is 25i. 7 times 7i, 49i. And 7i times 5i is 35i squared. Okay. So the first thing I know is I squared equals negative 1. Okay. So when I'm combining my like terms, this is actually 30, well, I'll write it out. 35 plus 4, that's an I guess I should put there. 4, 5, 6, 74i minus 35. So my answer is actually only going to be 74i on this particular one. Questions on that? Is everyone okay? 74i, good. Good, Emma. And then I think I just have an add one. I don't know why I picked this one. Probably because it was the next one in line. Right, so combine like terms, I have 11 plus I. Wow. Okay, and that's it. So I think the rest of them you guys are going to be working on. I think. Yes. The other 6 you guys are going to be working on. Go. And then we're going to do homework. And then we're done for today, because this is a super short lesson. For a super short, what happened? for a super short day. Okay, my iPad turned off, sorry. Okay, so let's see, 13 minus 7 is 6, I'm pretty sure. And negative 5 minus a minus 11 is another 6. So that would be plus 6i. Whew, beautiful. And then, can you see the green back there? Okay. And then I've got 22 plus, oh, no, not plus, minus 6i. Done.
Oh, never mind. I just thought that was
Okay.
the problem.
No, it's the next one. So I've got 21i plus 6i squared. And the I squared is negative 1. And then they want to make sure that you write it the right way, right? Like it says up here in the directions. The whole number, the real number first, imaginary number second. So it should be minus 6 plus 21i. Okay. And then here we go multiplying. And I've got 15 plus 15i minus 3i minus 3i squared. This becomes a negative 1. So I get 18 plus 12i. And this one was negative 8 minus 4i minus 16i minus 8i squared, but that's negative 1. So that leaves me with negative 20i. Beautiful. And then we've got, what do we have? Negative 21 minus 7i minus 12i minus 4i squared. But of course, I squared is negative 1. So that leaves me with negative 17 minus 19i. Done. Don't forget to add your like terms together. Okay, is there any questions? Okay, you have like literally 12 questions on Delta Math. And then you're done. And unfortunately, you guys can't leave early. Stuck with me. We just get to talk. No, real people. Daniel gets to talk to real people all the time. Yeah, when you're in a breakout room, it has a different chat, I think.
Yeah, it does, but it just deleted it again.
What the heck? Why don't you just tell me what it is, Yellow?
So in parentheses, it's negative 12 minus 3i.
Okay.
And then outside the parentheses it's squared.
Oh, squared? What does it mean to square something, Yellow?
Multiply it by itself.
Mm-hmm. So that means I'm going to have negative 12 minus 3i. I laugh every time I see myself write with the mouse. Minus 3i, right? So you just write it that way and then distribute it out.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I was a little confused because it was both things squared.
Yeah. No, it's just that times that.
Okay.
Are you good? Leave room. Leave breakout room. Are you feeling better though, Emma?
I still get headaches.
You will for a while, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I have back issues constantly, so it just feels the same.
And these chairs are not the most comfortable.
Yeah. No, it was just like the forgetfulness part that I struggle with. Like when I went to the Instacare,
Mhm.
I didn't know what year it was or where president was. Like I thought we were still in 2020.
Yeah, well, it was fairly close to the beginning of the year.
That's why, like I didn't know what month it was either.
I didn't know what day it was yesterday, so.
I thought it was February, but it was still January, so.
Valentine's weekend is this weekend. And I'm getting my second shot, so I'm going to be sick all weekend.
Oh no. Do you get sick when you get shot?
Last time I had the same symptoms I had when I had COVID.
Really?
Yeah, except the fever.
That's not good.
So,
Yeah, I had
My
COVID.
mom got her first shot the same day you did, and she only experienced sore arm.
yeah, hardly anybody, a lot of people, like a lot of the teachers here didn't get very many symptoms, but I had some pretty bad ones, pretty severe ones. I was at a basketball game Friday night doing the girls' books, and I literally thought I was blacking out because I missed some plays, and I was like, what the heck? I kept asking, who did this? Finally, I called the coach over. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm sick.
Right.
And I made it out to my car before I started throwing up.
Oh no.
And then I made it home, and I passed out, and I slept for like 24 hours.
Wow.
So, my therapist got the.
So Friday, do you guys play at home on Friday, Daniel? I know Tuesday's your senior night,
Oh, no, we play that Skyline.
so it'll be the girls again. Great. I'm always getting sick on them.
So my therapist got the vaccine, and the next day he tested positive for COVID.
Oh,
So I think what happened was he was asymptomatic, and the vaccine kicked it in.
yeah, probably. I just want everyone to get vaccinated, so everyone will be good. But you guys get to be the last people vaccinated because you're so young. Keep telling my son he needs to go in because he works for the district. And I'm like, you can go in. He's like, I missed the cutoff date. I'm like, oh my gosh. How often have you guys had to pull out your computers today?
Every class.
Every class?
Some class I just go on Zoom on, like,
In class?
I think that's 3 of them I've been, this is the only one I haven't.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't have to because I'm on an iPad, so.
I'm like, I don't think I want to have you on Zoom in class. Why? So you can listen to me?
None of my teachers have had me go on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went on chemistry on Zoom and I couldn't silence it, so it just kept like talking during the class, so I had to like turn it off.
That's kind of funny. I'm like, unless they're doing something special in Zoom, you guys don't do really, you just take notes in Zoom in here. So if you're in here, that's why, like, let me just project it up there.
And my chemistry class laughed at me, so.
Is it Miss Mel?
Yeah, and next time I start off the school year.
She scares me.
This
I had to go in and talk to a student during her class one time, and she was like, what? I'm like, oh, can I? No. No, she, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think she makes me just like stare at me when she's talking, like, I'm kind of scared, don't.
I need to see somebody now. I'm like, I'm sorry. John says she's scary too.
She's scary.
Wait, so if we're at home and we're done?
Yeah, you're good. Woo! It's only 12 I was like, this is all they have for complex numbers. Okay, I'll do 4 problems each. You're the only one that said, everyone here said she was scary. You could see everyone. Oh, I can't. I'm not supposed to show anybody on camera, which is weird, right?
Why?
I don't know. Like, they're like, can you not, you're not supposed to record the students. I'm like, I don't record them anyways. But everyone's like, well, I want to put them on camera so the people at Zoom can see them. I'm like,
Well, you don't have to record them being on camera, you could just show us to them without putting the record button.
yeah. I was like, I never record my students anyways.
Oh,
So.
like us in class.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant like the people on Zoom.
They're never on their cameras anyways.
Yeah.
I'm going to record some black boxes with your names on them. Although Jesse has his cute dogs and Yellow always has his cat, which is cute. So. Yes, there's his cat in real life.
Yeah. She literally sleeps next to me every time I'm in class, like this is her bed.
He's gonna be a very smart cat.
Yeah.
Oh. We literally only have 19 minutes left. Nope, 21. Sorry, I counted wrong. It's so weird to think we get out at 2:15.
That's on normal days too, right?
Yes,
It's kinda nice.
it's weird.
Yeah, it's like they cut class, because on non-COVID times, students start at 7:45.
It's because of the buses. So they have to be somewhere. All our school schedules go around the buses. So. Like we've been trying to get you guys to start later, like for years, like at 8 o'clock. Now all of a sudden this year we can start at 8 o'clock. Even when we're when we have students here. So hopefully next year we can still start at 8.
I thought they were trying to change it to like 8:30 or 9.
I think they were also, but the problem with that starts interfering with like sports and people working. So
I went to school in Virginia, and my school started at 9:30.
really,
Got out at 4 though.
Oh, no.
There was a downside.
yeah, there is a downside. That means practices start late. Work starts late. Like the school I went to in Wyoming, they only go to school 4 days a week.
Really?
Yeah, but they start early and then they get out at 4. So their 4 days are longer every day.
Yeah, so my cousin in Arizona, like his summer break gets out like a month early, but then they go back a month earlier.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah. But I thought 4 days. But then when I was there, our sports were all on Friday and Saturday. So all our games were Friday and Saturday. So we didn't miss as much school. And so now they still do that Friday and Saturday. So now they don't miss any school at all. So,
Kinda nice.
yeah. And then you can go in for like extra tutoring on Fridays or I guess they do detentions. Really? If you're not in school, who's gonna, but you got, yeah, right. My graduating class was 37. So if you had detention, your parents are sending you to detention then.
Is a fraction a monomial or a binomial?
Is it just one fraction?
Yeah.
A mon.
A monomial.
Binomial is 2 terms.
this is being mean to me. Like I'll get 2 right and then I'll get 1 wrong, and I'll get 2 right and I'll get 1 wrong.
So sorry. You just forget the little I squareds.
Yeah, like I always,
Sometimes those are like, what?
yeah, like I'll put a plus and then it's a minus. I'm like, well.
Oh yeah.
When it asks if it has a degree,
Uh-huh.
what is that?
The degree is the highest exponent. Whatever the highest exponent is. No matter where it's at in the expression. Good job, you guys. Okay. I have to figure out, now we're going to do 5-3 tomorrow. Okay. So excited to have students. When I should probably make this smaller.